Are you in a job where you feel overworked, undervalued, and underpaid? Hi, I'm Carly Myers, your friendly stress management expert, and this month we're talking about stress and work. And I brought on one of my favorite people, Mary Cravets. And Mary Cravets is a client generation strategist, an international speaker who helps entrepreneurs significantly grow their businesses without working nights and weekends. Using her methods, the majority of her clients quickly increase their income 50 to 100%. Mary is also an avid roller coaster enthusiast and kayaking volunteer for a wildlife protection program in California. So welcome to the show, Mary. I'm so excited to have you on.
Thanks for having me here, Carly.
Absolutely. So tell us, for those of us who don't already know you, how did you end up here? How did you end up in this line of work?
Well, I loved your opening question, which was all about, being overworked at work. And the way I got into starting my company, Simply Get Clients, is that I had started a business that essentially became a job where I was an overworked employee. And from that overworked place and undervaluing my knowledge and everything I brought to the table, I reached a crisis point where I decided I just can't do that anymore. I just can't undervalue myself. I just can't undercharge for what I'm doing. And I made the too big for your britches move of opening my business that I have now. And from there, what's funny is I took some of those bad habits of overworking and undervaluing, but adding enthusiasm to the mix, because now I'm excited. I've started this new business where I'm contributing to the prosperity of others. And it took me less than 2 years to have like adrenal fatigue, like medically diagnosed burnout. So it was not a, overnight success story. Of
To
starting
say the
the
least,
business.
yeah.
To say the least. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing and I know that there are a lot of people who can relate to this, is that you have a desire to do good, whether it's in your job or in your business, and your enthusiasm on fire, and you just want to help people. And so you can put yourself last. When I hit my crisis point of burnout, I had to figure it out because my business wasn't wildly successful, but it was paying the bills. And I had to decide, do I give this up or do I figure it out? And I know a lot of people have reached this point. And so one of the things that occurred to me in that decision-making moment it was one question. Actually, one question popped into my mind. And the question was, what's working?
This is the signature Mary question. Every time I wait for it.
What's working? We scatter our efforts so greatly on all these new shiny objects and things we hope will work, and maybe it'll work, and maybe I should do one more thing, which was kind of my anthem until I burned out. But this question, what's working, is an incredible place to start moving forward to more productivity, better alignment with your values, your goals. And then the thing that happened next, because I was in business for myself, is I realized the most important thing to figure out if it was working or not is, how did I bring in clients? Like, what was working? Because clients equals money. And it's such a simple thing, but I swear, when you get overwhelmed and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, what do I do next? Going back to the essentials is so important. And so I thought, okay, the most important thing is I've got to figure out what's working with client generation. And so I did an exercise. I just made it up on the spot, and I've literally done it for thousands of people now. I brought it
in. Including me, guys, including me.
Yeah. Audiences all over the world. And every single time I'll do the exercise, and then there's this resounding sound of like forehead smacking of the obviousness of it all. But yet it's still incredibly powerful. So here's what I did. I wrote down all of the things I was thinking of doing, like all of the ways I could get clients. I was speaking, and I was networking, and I was doing blogs, and I was doing videos, and you name, should I be on Facebook, and all the questions I had, this big, massive mess in my head, sucking my energy. And then I wrote down my favorite clients, the people who who paid me well, the ones who appreciated what I did, the ones who sometimes even gave me referrals. And then I went line by line, name by name, and I thought, okay, where did this person come from? What did I do? What was the marketing activity that brought them to my door? And line by line, I found out that it boiled down to 3 things. I had a list of like 20 lead generation strategies I thought I needed to be doing. It boiled down to 3. And as I recovered, my business grew just by focusing on what was working. And it became almost an obsession. Like, how do I simplify this? How do I become more intentional to focus my efforts so that every ounce of energy I put into my business, there are these exponential results. So I hope if you're listening, you do that exercise. It's really amazing.
It's incredibly powerful. And it's funny, there's 2 things that come to mind when I think about you. It's what's working and that exercise, and simply get clients. Simply. I think so many of us, and I know for the folks that I work with female leaders, driven, hustlers, ready. They are go, go, go. And yet we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off, doing that, doing this, doing that, doing everything that we could possibly think about. But it's actually this 10%, right? I don't even remember what that saying is, but 10% of the work gets 80% of the results, or 90% of the results. And it's true. So for everyone who's listening and you're thinking, that's too simple, like it is not. It is not. So follow that exercise to figure out what works for you. So, and also I would say abandon what doesn't.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Abandon what doesn't. And that's how you reclaim a lot of your time. And if it sounds too simple, I will tell you that people who are just starting in their business and people who are incredibly accomplished with backgrounds in corporate, like shocked me, like 2 years ago, a former CFO of Microsoft hired me to help him. And I did the same exercise with him. Mm-hmm. And he had the same aha moment. It's not too simple.
Not at all. So Mary, where can we find you if we're like, we want to do this exercise, but we also know that we need some more support around here in the growth of our business and taking it to the next level?
Well, so the place you can find me is the place where you can have some fun, because all of the stress and the pressure and everything, I know one of the things you have to add to your list is a little bit of fun. So if you just go to my website, if you go to simplygetclients.com, right on the home page, there's like this big arrow directing you to a button, and it says, take the quiz to cut through the noise, or something like that. And it's a 5-minute quiz, and it will really help you focus in on where to put your time and energy and attention into your business. And it'll let you know which of my programs can support you with great tips, really customized to the situation you're going through.
Beautiful. And would you mind sharing your website link with us just really quickly?
Not at all. It's simplygetclients.com.
Beautiful. Simple, easy, simplygetclients.com. So for those of you who are listening, make sure that you click that link and check it out. Take her quiz. And we also want to know, what are you settling for in your own business? And where do you want to go? What's your vision for your future? Now, if you're feeling overworked and exhausted, I've got some good news for you. The Stress Less Company works with high-achieving CEOs, business owners, and managers, aka leaders, just like you, to find that sense of peace and freedom that they desire. And really, as a result of our work together, they learn how to properly manage their time, their tasks, and their energy so that they can experience more free time, efficiency, and prosperity. Sounds great, right? Well, you can apply for a complimentary stress assessment today to start the conversation about working together. Visit stresslessco.com/apply for more information and, of course, to apply. That concludes this episode of the Stress Less Show. And I want to give one last big shout out to our amazing guest, Mary. Thank you so, so much for coming on the show and sharing your expertise.
It's my pleasure, Carly. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. So if you enjoyed this week's episode, let us know by giving us a big old thumbs up and hitting that follow or subscribe button. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.